Hi, beautiful people. Welcome to the Fort Salem Library, where we read you your fanfiction. So sit down or don't, relax or don't, and enjoy these stories in a way you have not before. We at Fort Salem Library do not own Motherland Fort Salem or any of the related characters. The Motherland Fort Salem series is created by Elliot Lawrence and owned by Freeform. This story is a work of fanfiction and is meant for entertainment only. We are not making any profit from these stories. All rights of the original Motherland Fort Salem story belong to Freeform. We also do not own Until Morning or any of its original characters and storylines. We did, however, get permission from the author to read their story. This story was created and written by JordanUnbroken, and you can find the link on our show notes. This story is being read to you by me, Britt. Until Morning, Chapter 12. You want to do what? Rael was stunned. I want to talk to someone and try to get your mother released, Scylla said. But why? Rael couldn't believe what Scylla was saying to her. Your mother made some poor choices that day, and has paid for it the last 10 years. I spent a lot of time angry at her for what she did, what I thought she did. I don't want to be angry anymore. I want to move forward. Scylla. Rael shook her head in disbelief. I met with a lawyer earlier. I just wanted to know the options. We could get her a parole hearing, and I could speak on her behalf. Scylla, are you sure about this? Yes. I don't want anyone else to suffer because of one bad day. I'm not sure what to say here. Rael looked down at her empty dessert plate. I thought you would be happy. Your mother is alive, Rael. You deserve a shot at putting your family back together. Rael's mouth went dry. I'm not sure she would be happy to see me. Scylla moved closer to Rael, their hands becoming more intertwined. Why is that? We fought. I told her she deserved to be there and that I hated her for what she made me do. Rael couldn't look at Scylla but felt a warm hand glide over her shoulders. She's your mother. If that is how you feel, then I'll leave it alone. She can carry out her sentence. Though if you want to try and make amends, maybe get a fresh start, then I would be more than willing to do whatever it takes to get her out. Rael didn't know she was crying until Scylla wrapped her arms around her. She couldn't control the sobs that racked her body. The last 10 years, all the guilt and the shame came flooding out. Rael couldn't hear the soft words spoken by the brunette, holding her, but she could feel the vibrations coming through her chest. Finally, with a sharp intake of breath, Rael gained a sliver of composure. I'm sorry. I'm not sure what came over me. She wiped her face with her napkin and looked over at Scylla. Scylla's eyes were rimmed red and were shiny with tears. Rael's tears had stained the soft material of Scylla's shirt. It's a lot, Scylla said. I know that you've been going through so much as well, and I'm just trying to make things right. You deserve to be happy, Rael. Yeah, it really is a lot. Do you want me to go? You can have time to think it over? No, don't go. I want you to stay. Rael wasn't sure what to do with herself, but she knew she didn't want the woman next to her to leave. Scylla nodded. Okay. We should probably save Tally some, but I'm thinking we could probably take down the rest of that tiramisu. I'll put a piece for her in the fridge, Scylla said. Want to watch a movie or something? Sounds great. You pick, and I'll make Tally a plate. Rael brought up The Princess Bride on her TV and pressed play. Would you like to move to the sofa? Staying in that wheelchair for hours isn't exactly great, I suspect. You'll have to lift me. Rael spoke unevenly. I can do that, Scylla gave a firm nod. You sure? I don't want you throwing your back out. Rael let out a nervous laugh. I'm a trauma surgeon. I lift patients all the time. I helped lift you, Scylla reminded her. Trust me, it's easier when the patient is conscious. All right then. Rael lifted her arms and Scylla hugged her around the middle. The sweet smell of Scylla's perfume filled her nose, and she wanted to bury herself in her hair. Scylla set her down gently. See? No trouble. You comfy? Scylla propped Rael's legs up onto the coffee table with a pillow under them. Yeah, it's perfect, Rael said. Scylla handed her a fork and sat next to Rael, putting the dish of dessert across their laps. Okay. I may have went overboard, but this actually turned out great, I think. Scylla spoke about a mouthful of the cake. Not overboard, seriously, this is incredible. Thank you. I'm also sorry about crying all over you, Scylla cut her off. Don't, please. I think there's enough apologies between us to last a lifetime. No more, okay? No more apologies? Rael thought on it for a moment. She took a scoop of tiramisu onto her fork and held it aloft between them. 2 no more apologies. Scylla dug her fork into the dish and tapped her fork to Rael's. No more apologies. Rael then turned to the screen, her and Scylla watching as Princess Buttercup was kidnapped, and the men in black pursued the trio that had taken her. Rael must have nodded off because she awoke to the front door opening, then clicking shut. Tally appeared in front of her. Hey, Tally whispered. Went well? She pointed to Scylla, who was curled into Rael's side, a blanket thrown across her chest. Rael stared at the sleeping woman for a moment. I don't want to wake her, Rael whispered back. Tally nodded and gently coaxed the sleeping woman to lie down, covering her with another blanket. Tally put Rael back into the wheelchair as quietly as she could. Rael followed Tally into Rael's bedroom. Tally gave her a raised eyebrow. We just talked, Rael spoke softly. She's gonna try and help my mom, Tal. Tally's eyes bulged a bit. Okay. I want to know more, but I think we can cover it in the morning. It's already late. And I want to know why you were out until... Rael glanced at the clock. 2 in the morning? Tally blushed. Em and I just talked, then... Not so much talking. Come on, let's get you into bed. Rael complied, putting her arms around Tally. If they hurt you, I'm coming for them. I'll run their toes over or something. Should I say the same about Scylla? You're not in a wheelchair, Tally, Rael replied. How would you run her toes over? Tally let out a quiet laugh. Good night. Hey, Tal. Tally's head popped back into the room. Scylla put a plate for you in the fridge. Tally smiled and shook her head. Good night, Ray. Please find the fanfiction you just listened to on Archive of Our Own and leave the author some love. Without them, this wouldn't be possible, and we want to thank them from the bottoms of our hearts for creating these amazing stories and keeping the show alive.